Good afternoon, cellists and lovers of the cello, and welcome to the latest event of the online series events for London Cello Society. We miss seeing our members very much, and Selma Gottchen and all the board send you our very best wishes during these difficult times. I hope you've managed to have some cello projects which you've been able to get on with. Do tell us about those projects if you'd like us to publicise them. There are a few challenges up on Facebook, and we want to support everybody in this time when cello, everything to do with the cello, is so important to us. Today's event comes to you from South East London, and we're very grateful for the support of My Luthier, who are our contemporary instruments dealers in London. They're sponsoring this series of online concerts. Today's event is about two cellists under one roof, and we're fortunate to have two of the most busy and charismatic cellists who work in London. Theo Gill, who is principal in the London Sinfonietta. He also teaches at London College and has held many principal jobs in London's orchestras, in the top orchestras, and his wife Jolie Koos, again a very well-known teacher, and also has a job in the City of London Sinfonia. It's a great pleasure to welcome them both this afternoon. After a considerable time in lockdown, they're still talking to each other, so please welcome Jolie and Tim. Thank you.
Yay! Good evening, everyone. I can't tell you how thrilled Tim and I are here to be sharing our cello fun with you tonight. So we've had a lovely introduction from Justin, and we've had our own personal lockdown challenges. And I spoke to Selma, and we've done some lockdown work, and we thought we'd put it together into a presentation to share with you. So the idea was we would ask some of our friends to write pieces for us, and we would definitely feature other pieces, but the thing that ties it in is these are pieces for duet cellos, a couple of trios, and they are all for cellists by cellists.
Yeah.
Yay! And the other thing I'm finding really interesting tonight is it turns out this presentation is interactive. So please, if you want to make a comment or you want to ask a question, we'll do our best to include you as we go along. So there's an element of us knowing what's going to happen and a little bit of improvisation, which pretty much sums up all our lives as musicians.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't know if it's been made clear, but Jolie and I are married.
Yes,
and,
still, after lockdown.
We've been together for an awfully long time, I guess, probably about 30 years, even more than that. And throughout our time together, we've always sort of played duets together. Often at the end of a day with a glass of wine, just to sort of unwind. But during lockdown, of course, we had more of an opportunity to do it more, I suppose, and explore the repertoire. So we were outside often on the NHS Thursdays, sort of serenading our neighbours. I'm not sure if they enjoyed it that much, but anyway, I think they did actually. Yeah, they joined in. And we've, as I say, had a little look at the repertoire. So the concert that we've recorded, we recorded it live at home. So at the moment we're in Justin's palatial southeast London residence, but you'll see us playing in our home. This was for a number of technical reasons. There were often sort of hitches which we felt we could iron out a little bit better if we pre-recorded it. It wasn't without its moments, it's tense moments.
So I think I need to warn you, just in case you notice, we go from one piece to another, that the lighting might slightly change, that our hair might look slightly different, and we might look slightly cross just before we play.
The smiles might become a little bit more strained.
Now the reason is, and this is something we all have had to face during lockdown, is the practicality of bringing music to each other. And the fact is, we had set aside last weekend to pre-record for you, and that was the weekend where it wouldn't stop raining. And our front room has a beautiful roof window over it. That's where we were recording. And that roof window acted as an amplifier to every drop of rain and interfered with our mic. And we started to get really anxious and upset. And I came up with a brainwave, which involved me climbing onto the roof and placing a sleeping bag over the window. Except within 20 minutes, it would get drenched and then it would all start up again. So we got through 4 sleeping bags in order to get this music to you.
Absolutely. So the first piece you're going to hear is by Jacques Offenbach. And Offenbach was a cellist himself. He played, I think, in the Paris Opera, and apparently he was a bit of a joker, a bit of a japer. He would kind of saw off the legs of his co-cellist's chairs, I think, from time to time. So that wonderful sense of fun, I hope, comes across in this piece you're going to hear now. Wasn't that fun? Now, throughout our careers, we've often shared cello teachers, haven't we? And one of these was the late, wonderful man, Christopher Bunting. He was an extraordinary man in many ways. He got a double first at Cambridge, I think, studied engineering. Was fantastic, obviously, amazing cellist who learnt with Pablo Casals. Wonderful pianist too, and also a very capable composer. Wrote his own cello concerto, which is sadly neglected. But he also arranged pieces, didn't he? He was, he arranged the next piece you're going to hear for us and gave it to you, Jodie.
Yeah, I remember the first time I had a lesson with Christopher, he was slightly scary. He looked rather austere. But that was a covering of someone actually who was extremely kind and caring, and also had a really quiet sense of fun. So the fun you hear in this next item, the kindness was this. At the end of one of my lessons with him, he gave me some handwritten pieces of paper, and he'd given me an arrangement of his of Bach's Bourrée from the Third Suite in C major. It's really, really good fun. And he said, this is for you and Tim to play. At this point, I realised that he knew we were boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah, I don't think we told him actually, but he worked
guessed.
it out. Yeah.
He worked it out. This is just brilliant. It's not like the original. Imagine it's a kind of like a Swingle Singers version. It's kind of got 60s jazz in it and witty bits of counterpoint. And we just felt we had to put it into this presentation because it's
a little
great.
bit PDQ Bach.
Yeah, great fun. Hope you enjoy. Okay, we said there were no technical hitches. We lied. And please bear with us. You just heard the opening of the next piece that's going to happen, which is absolutely amazing. And most of you will never have heard it before. But more about that anon. We are going to go back to Christopher Bunting's arrangement of Bach. It was very hard for our amazing engineer Pedro because he had 15 elements to put together, and we've numbered them, but we think it's slipped through somewhere, so it should be element 2, and we're raring to go. Yay! Yeah. Take it away, Pedro.
Hello there, it's Roderick Williams coming to you live from my music room. I should apologise straight away about this extraordinary haircut I've got. It's the sort of the beginnings of a mohawk, but it's because of an opera role I'm doing at the moment. The less I should say about my hair, the better. It's a great pleasure for me to say hello to all of you at the London Cello Society, and also to introduce a piece to you that's going to be played by Theo Gill and Koos, who've been wonderful in taking a piece of music that I wrote as a teenager. And I finally got round to transcribing it onto software during lockdown and sent it off to them on the off chance they might like to have something to duet together with while they were also in lockdown, and they've just run away with it. They've taken it on board and made sort of a student piece sound really quite credible, which is I'm hugely grateful to them for that. I'll just tell you a little bit about myself as a cellist, Roderick Williams as a cellist. Well, there's no clues there's no prize rather for seeing how that worked out, because I'm a singer professionally now. I learnt the cello at school. I was at Haberdashers' Ash School in Elstree and was taught by the most wonderful cello teacher there, George Hayburn, who I still bump into from time to time. And he did what he could with me. Like any young player at that time, I didn't practice that much. But at least I had the musicianship to make what I did on the cello sound credible enough that I got to grade 8 and did all that. And I in my last few years at school, I led the cello section more through acting than through actual playing ability. If you'd been able to hear what I was actually playing in things like the Tchaikovsky's Fifth Symphony, I remember we did, and the Dvorak 8 with that amazing cello section solo at the beginning, and if you actually heard what I was playing, you would have been wincing like I was. However, once I left school, my father took me to see Christopher Bunting in Hampstead. I remember his very colourful rainbow sweater in particular. And Christopher Bunting listened to me play for a little bit, and he said, right, buddy, we need to kind of start again from scratch. He wrote me some exercises that just included long semi-breves on open strings, really right back to the beginning. He realised he would have to deconstruct my efforts at faking cello playing and do something quite radical. And it's at that point that I got the message. Roddy, you're not a cellist, really. You are something else. And I suppose I turned into a singer. But at least both bass instruments. Right. This piece of music that Tim and Jolie are going to play is the final movement of something that I wrote for myself to play in long summer holidays as a teenager. And it was something that I could record on cassette and then play back and do the second cello part to the first cello part. And so it's full of different sonorities and sort of William Walton-esque harmonies, funky rhythms and things like that. And it was really an experiment in sound. And it's just such a wonderful thing in this modern day that Tim and Jolie have run with the ball and made such great music out of it. I'm indebted to them both. So I hope you enjoy this last movement of this Sonatina for two cellos. Thank you.
that was such a treat for us to play. And Roddy, if you're watching, what a privilege it was for you to send us this piece over lockdown, because it's been just such a great thing for us to learn.
Absolutely.
And that is just one movement out of several. I think there were 2 others, and it really we chose the last movement because it sort of encapsulates the whole piece really, really well. So thank you, Roddy. Just fabulous to add that to our cello repertoire list, which is ever growing, actually. And I'm just tickled by the fact that we share a bit of cello DNA with your story of Christopher Bunting. That's just amazing.
That was
Loved
quite
it.
We didn't know about that.
We
until you
didn't,
just
indeed.
told us. So, in the immortal words of Graham Chapman, and now for something completely different.
Hi, so the next piece we're going to play is by Mauricio Kagel, who was a famous composer from the 1960s, 1970s, German-Argentinian origins. He was very much involved with the Darmstadt school, so it was a very kind of strict classical upbringing that he had in music. So it was sort of associating with people like Stockhausen and Bourrée. But he was very much into music theatre and other forms of expression. So he made a film about Beethoven, very, very weird thing. He likes to challenge his audience, and he likes to challenge the performers. So he often asks us to play extremely unusual effects on the cello.
Most importantly, Kagel was a cellist. So when he wrote Match for 2 cellos and percussion, he really used practically, it seems like every single way that he could make a sound or a noise on a cello, every which way but normal. So consequently, every single note has a different direction. I'm not just talking dynamic, but how you would play it, how you play it with the bow. Sometimes you use the wood of the bow. What other techniques with the bow have you noticed?
With the bow, yeah, so you have to play behind the bridge, which is, I guess, quite common, that kind of thing. You have to also play up here, and kind of vary the point of contact a lot.
Sometimes we have also left-hand direction, so we'll ask to bang the string or play with the nail or tap the side of the cello.
Tap the side of the cello.
And there's one where you really wacky one with pits and bow. Would you demonstrate your favourite?
Oh yeah, the bit I can't play. I can't really make it sound properly, but you have to play in between the finger and the thumb. So it's a kind of visual thing as well as being a sonic weirdness.
And to finish with the demos, I'm going to show you one bar that I had to learn, just so you get an idea of the difficulty. This is it. Yeah. Oh, I'm not centering it very well. You'll see that there are a lot of directions on it. You'll see saccal and tasto, pont. That's where I have to go with my bow. But I'm also, the saccal requires me going right up to the nut of the cello. You'll see that I have to do pits and nagel. That means banging with the nails. It's very, very wacky. It took me ages to work out what was going on. Those pencil lines are above are actually giving me a sense of time, how long this all takes. And the overall effect, what it means is that, in a way, you're required to interpret it yourself. You can, of course, go on YouTube and see how other players interpret. But from this, I see forte with the pits, then I'm asked to go up to here, and then I'm back D string, pont, places, down to pianissimo. Again, it's dramatic, both in sound and in look.
I think it's fair to say that the eagle-eyed among you may have noticed that we're not using cellos from the previous item, so these are slightly more durable, shall we say?
Yeah, this
less
is
expensive.
Absolutely less expensive, less valuable, so we worry about ruining them.
You have to
Don't
approach
worry
this
about
music
ruining
with
them.
care.
Yes, but most of all, something that we all have to do, regardless of the music, is always make sense of it. Think how we're going to communicate it to you. All these weird noises and so on. So I guess how we thought it was, it's entitled Match. and it starts like a tennis match. You can actually hear almost like a video game tennis ball sound. Okay, it starts like that.
Like a rally.
But there's also a match in the sense that there's a sort of battle of the sexes, which works really well between us.
Yeah,
And
really
you-
well.
So you can imagine almost like a chess match, a little game that's happening. And we did get some inspiration from a famous moment, a chess match between Faye Dunaway, me, Steve McQueen,
Hello.
where they're playing chess, in the Thomas Crown Affair, a big film from the 60s. And last of all, what you'll hear are little conversations and then silence episodes where we're sometimes playing together, sometimes we're not playing together at all. You can hear the fun, the flirtation, the frustration, and the fury. Kagel's match.
We hope you enjoy it.
hope you really enjoyed that. And if ever, while you're practicing, you suddenly feel like you've had enough, just take a moment and see if you can find a way to play the cello that is just not the norm. You can have a lot of fun, actually. We've had some lovely interaction here, so I wanted to thank you for some fantastic comments. It does
Thank you for watching too.
And thank you for watching. It does one's heart good, because we're all not so connected these days. So sharing the love is really fantastic. And I've got a rather funny message I want to pass on to Roddy from Caroline Muz, who writes, I don't think you could have been faking it that much if you could play that piece as a teenager. So Roddy, get practicing the cello again.
Yeah, Roddy's never faked anything in his life before. So one of the things about lockdown, I'm sure you all felt this, was that it could be quite challenging in many ways. It could be quite a sort of lonely time. And one of the things we decided to do was to set up a little WhatsApp group of people who we'd all actually shared another common teacher, David Strange, at the Academy.
Lovely David, if you're watching.
Hi David,
hello.
hi. So we set up a group with such cello luminaries as Philip Sheppard, Adrian Bradbury, Zoe Martlew, and we gave it a rather rude name, which I won't repeat here. I think it finished up as You're the Big Cheese Now. Not quite sure why, but there we go. That's one of Adrian's. So it was like a kind of way of just connecting, I suppose, and we'd sort of have a Zoom chat every so often with a glass of Prosecco and just talk about old times, talk about teachers, talk about cello, talk about things like geeky things like that. And from that group, there came the idea, I suppose, which has fed into this concert, of commissioning works from these wonderful people, because they were also, a number of them were composers too. And throw into that mix our son, who is not actually a cellist, although he kind of qualifies, I suppose, by the fact that he's surrounded by cellos and cellists.
Yeah.
Our son Theo, who is also a composer, we managed to commission 3 new pieces?
Two new pieces and 1 new arrangement. Yes, and so if we asked Theo to be part of this concert, then we couldn't leave our remaining member of the family in lockdown, our daughter Doralee, who is a cellist. So you are about to see her play with us too. The next 3 items, we're going to butt out of it because they are all introduced by the composers featured. We have the incredible Zoe Martlew, who's having a meteoric rise as a composer, and rightly so. She is multi-talented, starting out as a cellist, but actually she's a performance artist, she's a TV personality, and most recently she has now set up a Reiki healing business on YouTube. Go and subscribe, it's brilliant. And she has brought out some pieces for cello, and they are hitting music shops as we speak. And I asked her if it would be okay if I did an arrangement of one of these stunning pieces called Berceuse, and she has graciously said yes. So in a way it's a kind of world premiere of the arrangement, you will hear that. Then that we go on to Theo's piece, which he will also introduce. And then finally we have 3 pieces from Philip Sheppard, who is a mega globally well-known composer and has, something like 250,000 followers on social media. And we just couldn't resist asking him.
I think those 3 pieces have appeared on a TV show as well.
Yeah, I think he'll let us know about that in his introduction. Yeah. So enjoy!
Hello, all you wonderful cello types. I'm Zoe, and I'm so honoured to be part of this concert. I don't know about you, but what got me playing the cello in the first place was that gorgeous lyrical sound that only this instrument can make, when it sounds like the human voice at its best. All those songs that we love, Après un rêve, The Swan, Song Without Words, Kol Nidra, you know what they all are, and we love them. But you know what? The irony is I've spent most of my professional cello playing life playing anything but that style. Lots of contemporary music with a few squeaks and scrapes along the way. So one day I thought, do you know what? I'm going to write an encore in this lyrical style that we all love and use it as part of my cabaret show to sugar the pill of the weirdness of the rest of the show. And also I thought maybe other people might like to use it as a little encore at the end of the concert. And it's inspired by Late Liszt, with all of that lyricism. But the version you are about to hear doesn't have a piano in it. In fact, it is an arrangement. You're about to hear a world premiere. And the arrangement is by force of nature, the fabulous, the one and only, and very, very clever Koos, who's just made this brilliant arrangement for 3 cellos, and it's going to be played by husband Tim, daughter Doralee. What an amazing trio that you're about to hear. Super lucky. And there's an amazing timing for this concert because I have just been sent a photo of the score of Berceuse sitting in a really, really posh music shop in Bremen and sent to me by meta cello star Stephen Isserlis. How amazing is that? Look, there it is on the shelf. It's so exciting. And the funny thing is that Martin-Lu, who is sitting next to me, my surname often gets misspelt as Martin-Lu. So finally, it seems like it's all come full circle. By the way, there's one more version of this little piece if you're interested. It's the last song in my song cycle, Musae. You can find it on YouTube. There's a little plug. And the words that go with this piece, they're all about the soul's longing for its partner across time and space, this great love that transcends all dimensions. It's terribly romantic. Take it away, Tim, Jolie and Doralee. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you, Tim, Jolie and Doralee, for playing.
So, our concert was entitled 2 Cellos Under One Roof, but actually Tim and I were extremely fortunate to have our children staying with us during lockdown, one of whom, Doralee, is a cellist and is an absolute joy to play with. So we felt we had to include her in our concert. So here's Doralee joining us for Zoe's Berceuse.
Hello London Cello Society, my name is Theo Gill and I'm delighted to say that in this specially tailored concert my parents and my sister will be playing a piece of mine for you today, the Jubilate Brittanica. As you can see in my current circumstance, my life is physically and metaphorically filled with cellos on a daily basis. I've grown up with all three of my close family members scratching away at their instruments every day, really. There's not really a moment in my house where someone's not playing the cello. So all of that has sort of sunk itself deep into my subconscious somewhere, and as a composer I've written quite a few pieces for cello. I wrote one for my mum a couple of years back called Vocalese, and then another for my dad, and so this is kind of the third in the instalment of tailored cello pieces. You might find it funny, it's quite satirical. The title is quite satirical in itself. I quote a bit, you may identify a few famous tunes there, here and there, but I won't say much more than that, because I think I will leave it down to you, the viewer, to decide what the meaning of my piece is. I hope you enjoy.
My name's Philip Sheppard, and I'm a composer and a producer and a cellist. And I'm really excited that Jolie and Tim are going to be playing 3 little pieces of mine. These were actually written in March, and like a lot of people, I got unwell, and my way of getting better was actually to rediscover the cello. And I started practicing my popper and survey and foillard. I thought, well, I'm a composer, maybe I should write some studies for myself, make things that are sort of tricky but fun. And so I wrote a partita every day. What you're going to hear today is actually 3 of the partitas. One of them's sort of about a storm, one of them's about water, and one of them is just basically a sort of a race to the finish. Strange thing about these is that, well, as I was writing them, I was corresponding with a film director friend of mine who said, oh, I'm actually making a show for the BBC at the moment. And he actually ended up using all of the partitas as the soundtrack for a series about the history of writing. More importantly, I decided these would really suit our 2 esteemed soloists, Jolie and Tim. I've known Jolie and Tim for years. We were all at the Royal Academy of Music together, along with Zoe Martlew as well, which is great. And we were all students of David Strange, who I'm sure many of you are familiar with. And part of sort of getting better was also to reconnect with people who meant a lot to me. And so we actually ended up having regular sort of drinks parties and chats about the cello and things that are unmentionable online. And what came out of that was actually the idea of playing music by each other. So I'm really, really thrilled that that's what's happened. I write most of my music when I'm well outdoors. This is a very difficult introduction because I'm actually out paddleboarding at the moment and I'm trying desperately not to fall in. So I'm going to stop droning on and let's get on with the music. So here's 3 partitas by me.
amazing. Thank you so much to Philip, Sheppard, Zoe Martlew, Roderick Williams and Theo Gill. What an amazingly talented bunch of people.
And what a variety of music as well. Thank you for your fantastic comments. I'm just going to have time to just read a few if that's okay. Zoe Martlew, we have from Madeline, who said your piece feels dramatic, sensitive, beautiful. Absolutely. Rachel and Ben say, we love your piece, Theo, brilliant. And Roger Blair says, what a super piece to Philip. So thank you so much. And also Roger writes, beautiful and seamless interplay between the two cellos. So I want you to think about this. If you teach the cello, Tim and I feel this is a brilliant piece to play as a duet with a young cellist. And there's a lot of interesting bowing techniques and some good finger coordination work. So I know Philip sort of thought of it as studies, and they really are effective in that way. If you want to access any of this new music, both Zoe and Philip have websites, and they're on the publicity leaflet you would have got sent out. Roderick Williams is currently, I think, about to be starting with a new publisher. So if you want to access his music, would you mind going through the Cello Society, and they'll come through me. And of course, I am Theo Gill's mother, and I will be in charge of his pieces too. So any queries through the Cello Society. Thank you to the Cello Society for enabling us to share this just joy of cello and cello music with you. And I want to encourage all of you, because lockdown's going to carry on for quite a while in different forms. I want to encourage you to challenge yourself in a different way as a musician, as a cellist. Think about composing, think about arranging, and just think about getting out of your comfort zone, just like we're about to do with the last piece, which is arranged by me. And you'll see me do something extra while I play the cello. Enjoy! So we are coming to the end of our concert. Tim, would you do the honours?
I certainly will, Stanley.
So while you're doing that, one of the great things about internet concerts is you can sit and be in your pyjamas or whatever comfy clothes you want to be in. You could lie in your favourite chair and certainly drink your favourite drink and food. We have held back, but we feel after this rather sort of marathon tour of new music and unusual music for two cellos during lockdown, we deserve this, don't we? Way! So, we are professional musicians, so we will not be touching a drop until our last note. Oh look, Tim's even pouring it in readiness. Okay, so we're going to start with we're going to finish with, not start with, an arrangement of The Look of Love, arranged by me, a wonderful, wonderful 60s song by Bacharach, or as we call him, Bach. Bacharach. Okay, are you ready, Tim, to take it away?
Oh yeah.
Can I just have a little sip?
Go on then.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
ever go. Don't ever go. Don't ever go. I love you so. Let's have our champagne.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Bye.
Come on, turn to me.
Mwah!
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry. Couldn't control ourselves. Anyway, there we are.
Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for your absolutely fantastic comments. There's been a bit of everything tonight. I hope it's been entertaining. It's certainly been great for us.
Yeah, it's been great fun.
And
Thank you for
for
watching.
hosting, Justin.
Great. Well, I hope you agree. The variety of musical items we had in this programme, I think, was stunning. The preparation has gone into this. I know not just the compositions, but also rehearsing. It's been an absolute pleasure
It's
to
been
have
months
hosted
and months,
it.
Justin. Honestly. It's been-
It was so entertaining and stimulating. Thank you so much indeed. So I think it only remains for us to toast.
Again?
Again, well,
I think we
if
should
you
toast the
insist.
membership of London Cello Society.
Absolutely, yeah.
We're missing
Yes.
you all, and look forward to seeing you online for the next presentation.
Yeah.
But for the moment, thanks for joining us today, and
Thank you.
thank you, Jelly and
Do
Tim. Here we
Thank
go.
you
join
for
in at
hosting
home.
so nicely.
This is the important bit.
I've never
Yeah.
toasted with my
Whoa! Things you should not do.
No, man.
That's
There
it.
you
Take
go.
care of the cello.
That's
Got
right.
it,
Okay.
got it.
Cheers, everyone. I hope you're all joining in.
Yeah,
and
don't
having a
try
nice
this
drink.
at home.
Yes, not near a cello anyway, yeah.
There we
Fortunately,
go.
that wasn't the Ruggieri. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Take care.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.